Hello, how are you, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today is 9 January 2024. It's exactly 1 year. Exactly 1 year on this, after I arrived in the UK. I arrived in the UK on 9 January 2023, a year ago. So it has been a milestone for me, and there is so much to reflect on. There's so much that I have learned ever since I arrived in the UK, and in this video I'm going to be going through some of the experiences that I had. It has been a milestone for me after I arrived in the UK. So stay tuned as I go with you through everything that I've learned in this beautiful country of United Kingdom, the Great Britain. My name is Silas. If you are joining me or if you are seeing me or if you are watching me for the very first time, my name is Silas. I'm originally from a small country called Zimbabwe, from southern part of Africa. Zimbabwe, that's where I was born. I was born in Zimbabwe, grew up in Zimbabwe, did my primary, secondary and college education in Zimbabwe. And then after that I moved to Namibia in 2010 in search of greener pastures. Yes, I moved to Namibia in search of greener pastures after having been in Harare working for about two years. Yes. So I started working in 2008, and in 2010 I left Zimbabwe, went to Namibia after one guy called me to come to Namibia to join him in his business. So I moved to Namibia in 2010 and established there, stayed there for about 4 years. I think that was from 2010 up to 2014 when I left for South Africa in search as well for greener pastures. But when I left Namibia, that wasn't actually in search of greener pastures. I left Namibia because my contract of employment had been terminated. So I left Namibia, went to South Africa, where I was staying in KwaZulu-Natal since 2014, November up to October of 2022. So until that time I was in South Africa working there I was staying in Newcastle, KwaZulu-Natal, in the province called KwaZulu-Natal, KZN, where the Zulus, it's a province where there's more Zulus, or the origin of the Zulu nation. So I was staying there in KwaZulu-Natal, and I was very happy until again my contract came to an end in 2022, and I left South Africa almost a year before my contract came to an end. I've been busy processing also papers to come to the UK. So successfully so, I managed to secure a job in UK, and then I moved to UK on the 9th of January 2023. So today is 9th of January, is the 9th of January, and it's my first anniversary in the United Kingdom, the Great Britain. The UK, as it is known. So I'm here in the UK, and it's a year now after my arrival, and there's lots that I've learned as a person. And today I shall be going through some of the things that I have learned in this beautiful country, beautiful nation of the United Kingdom. So we shall go through one by one. There's lots, but we're just gonna try to narrow them down so that we can make the video as short as possible. So the very first thing that I have learned in UK after my arrival on the morning of the 9th of January 2023 is that this is a cold country. When I arrived here, it was really cold, and this is actually my jacket that I came with from South Africa. This jacket, I bought it in South Africa in a shop called Jet. If you are in South Africa, you know this Jet shop, a very common shop in the southern region part, and I'm not sure if it's somewhere else, but yeah, I did. It is a popular shop, a shop where most people who low income earners go and do most of their shopping, as they say. But I got in there, bought this beautiful jersey. I'm still wearing it. I think this is now the second year I'm wearing this jacket. So this is the jacket I came wearing when I arrived in UK, and I still have it. So what have I achieved after arriving in the UK? What are my achievements? The one thing that I probably need to mention straight away is that recently I managed to grow my YouTube channel, because this has been my wish to make sure my YouTube channel grows to at least to the levels where it gets monetized. So just about a month ago, that was in November, I had only 180 subscribers after having been trying from 2012 to try and get subscribers, until when I came to the UK. That's when I found a breakthrough. In November, I went to Kenya, where I launched this YouTube channel of mine, which I am calling Silas at 100 years. Yes, sir. So that's my YouTube channel. That's one thing that I achieved while I'm here in the UK. My channel managed to grow to at least more than 1,000 subscribers, and we are almost short of about 200 watch hours to get up to the 4,000 required watch hours for the channel to start getting some coins. Yes, so that's a big achievement for me. Of all the achievements, another achievement for me ever since I came here is I managed to grow as a person in my profession, which I will probably tell you about in the near future. Yes, so I have been doing my required duties as well. I'm to the levels that I'm actually happy about myself personally. Yes, it has been a fruitful year and an incident-free year, so I'm very happy about that. It's not easy to finish a year without having problems, especially at work. But I successfully managed to finish my first year in UK, tough as it was, with so many challenges, and still many to come and to be overcome. I'm doing well, and I did well in my first year. I have to give myself a thumbs up, round of applause to myself. Yes, I successfully did that. What else did I achieve? Yes, this is an achievement. I managed to buy this camera that I'm speaking to right in front of me as I speak right now. Yes, this is a GoPro camera which most YouTubers use to record their videos before they post them on their YouTube channels. So successfully so, I managed to get one for myself, and I'm happy about that, because when I was in South Africa, I used to see this small little camera displayed in shops and couldn't afford, and I was wondering, why is this small little camera so expensive? But finally I managed to get the camera. That's an achievement for me. What lessons did I learn in the UK? There's many things that I've learned. I've learned so much. I've learned the culture of the people. I've learned that UK is really a great nation, and there's so much great opportunities in this country. And I've learned that there's people from different parts of the world, and all these different people from different parts of the world are able to work together all the time. That's what I've realized, and I've realized that there is while people are working together, there is always usually some good work ethics, and people seem to work together well. And from what I've observed, no matter where you come from, the trainings that people get in their different works equips them with the skills that allows them to work relatively well with one another, despite the fact that these people are coming from different backgrounds and different cultures. So I've observed that people actually are able to work together, and no matter where they are coming from. I've also learned that people here in UK actually do work hard. When I came here, I never thought that people here are really as hard working as they are. I thought it was just a push, and mostly people using their brains rather than working physically. But that was not the case for me. I realized that actually people here are very hardworking, and they always try to achieve good results. So I also learned that there is what is called the flexible working hours, whereby you don't need to fit to a job, but the job actually need to fit to your schedule. So that's another thing that I learned, the flexible working hours. So you when you get a job, you don't necessarily have to work according to the job, but the job has to work according to your availability, actually, if I can say that way. You don't necessarily need to work 8 to 5 like we normally do back home. Actually, you can choose to work from, let's say, 10 to 7, or 2 to 10, for as long as it's appropriate for that particular job you will be doing. Yes, so those are some of the lessons that I've learned, among other lessons. And to move on, How is the social life in UK? I've learned that in UK most people are indoors, or they stay indoors, or should I say they don't if you, let me just give an example. If you're in Africa, for example, you know that if you go in the street, you just see people standing in the streets, playing in the streets, all those things, but here people do stay most of the time indoors, and whatever they do them indoors, and they don't usually go out, stand in the street and start to talk to neighbors or those things. People are confined in their houses, and the winters are much colder, to the extent that during winter the social life is not as much as it is in summer. In summer, I realize that they tend to be more gigs, if I can call, or there's more nightlife, or there's more outgoing, as opposed to winter times, and winter is very cold, and as well, which makes it a bit more difficult for people to be out and socializing, and people are generally busy, and they tend to not have time to be visiting friends or relatives. People are usually busy with their work, because people here work very hard. There is no time for working. Actually, it's work 24/7, and most people work shifts depending on the type of job you are doing, and that I think is a very good thing, because where I come from, people tend to want to enjoy more than working, and they tend to want to socialize more than working, which is actually the opposite. Here people tend to want to work more, make money, and then later go to holidays, but I'm yet to find out more in that social aspect. There are many jobs here. I think there are many jobs. This is a country with great opportunities. If you are planning to come to the UK, there's lots of jobs that you can see on the internet. As long as you meet the requirements, you can be able to come to UK and get jobs. And also, I've learned that a qualification is not necessarily a prerequisite for someone to do a job, or a particular job. You may not have a qualification, but you at the same time might be able to actually get many jobs, as long as you finished your high school, which just it's my opinion. I don't have enough evidence to base that, but from what I have seen so far with the people that come from Africa, most people, they get in jobs and start working in different jobs regardless of what qualification you have. I've seen people who work as cleaners and they are doctors. Back home, I've seen people who work as warehouse attendants when they are actually psychologists, or they were lecturers back home, but here they work in the warehouse. So a qualification is just a qualification. Actually, I've learned that a qualification is not necessarily a passport to making it in life. So there's many jobs that one can do without necessarily having to be qualified, for without being asked for certificates of qualification or something like that. And at the same time, those jobs also tends to pay more than even the jobs for someone who is qualified. So let's say you are a cleaner, you are likely going to earn more money as a cleaner than you earn as a doctor or a nurse, for example, or an engineer. You are likely going to earn more money as someone who build houses as opposed to someone who is an accountant, for example. So jobs here, actually people gets paid per hour. You know what I mean? There is what they call a minimum wage, which I think it's something that really works very well here. It does actually eliminate the idea of someone having to tend to use you and pay you less, which probably I can call it kind of slavery of some sort, which I think we are really practicing very well back home. You see that there are many people who work hard, and the harder you work, the less you get if you are back home. But here it's actually not the case. The harder you work here, the harder your work is, the more you actually likely gonna get paid. So that's really a big difference, and that's another lesson, and I think it works very well here. And of course, with the rule of law, everything it tends to be followed, and there is no shortcuts when you are doing your job. People tend to stick to the book and tend to do things the right way. You know what I mean? And another thing, while we're still there on the job, let me just talk also about buying. When you buy something, there's nothing like you buy it, you buy. They say, there's this saying, they say tengile tengile. Once you buy. So here, if you buy something and you don't like it, you are given the whole month to return it to the shop and get your full refund. Even if it's clothes, if you don't want them, or shoes, you are likely gonna return them to the shop and get something as a replacement, or probably get your full salary. Especially worse if there is a problem in terms of a default or something like that. You are likely going to actually be refunded probably even more money. I mean, even with the extra. So those are some of the lessons I'm learning here. And people don't tend to, as much as people might want to try to, give you a job and pay you less. Yes, as long as you know what you are doing and what you are signing for, you are likely going to work very well. So there's that's some of the things that I've learned in jobs. So let me jump to the next thing and talk about safety. But before I go and talk about safety, kindly consider subscribing, guys, to my YouTube channel, and also remember, don't forget to like the video and share the video also if you can. And thank you very much. Turn the notification bell so that every time I post a video, you can be the first one to be alerted. So this country is a very safe country, if I can say the least. Over the 1 year period that I've been here, I haven't seen any major incidents, let's say, be it a fire incident, or be it a road traffic accident, or be it a robbery, or a stabbing, or a gun violence, or something like that, or a theft, or those kind of issues. Of course, I'm not saying they don't happen here, but I don't see them as much as I used to see such in back home in Africa. So this is a very safe country, if I can say the least. I can literally walk anytime, anywhere, without fearing for my life, or without worrying about someone hiding and trying to bamba nkunzi, or what do you call it, neck heckle. Okay, I don't know, but yeah, something like that. I literally walk with my phone, and I can be talking on my phone in town anywhere without incidents. Of course, I have heard of some incidents in central London, but well, it's there's no in Shona they say apana musha usina benzi, but not as much as these cases happen in Africa. This is a relatively a very safe country in terms of your safety as a person, and in terms of people trying to steal from you, or in terms of people trying to break in your car. Most cars, they stay outdoors in the streets, and you can leave your car there for a month or a year without anyone coming to try and remove tires or anything. So that's one other thing that is that makes this nation a great nation. And I bet you, if you try to do that, if you try to steal a sweet, I can tell you that I can guarantee that you will be caught before you even finish eating the sweet. So that's safety in terms of your security. There's also, let me talk about safety also on the roads. This country, I've realized that it's a very safe country when it comes to walking, or when it comes to using the roads. Literally, most of the roads where people stay, there is walkways which most people use. If you are walking, you don't need to walk close to the road or walk on the road where cars move. So, which I think is a very safe thing, and those walkways are so accessible that even if you have a disability and you are using a wheelchair, and maybe let's say you got a T1 spinal cord, you can be able to wheel your wheelchair from here even up to London, because of the design and the way the roads are actually maintained and built. So I think that's a very safe thing to talk about, as opposed to what we see all the time back home, where people and cars are usually walking in the same road, and people are speeding, and people gets bumped with cars, gets knocked with cars. It's not the case here. So I thought that is a very safe way of doing things. Also, you are safe from society. Actually, the government tends to make sure that the people are safe on their way, healthy, and they are safe socially in terms of their living. You know, if you are struggling with, let's say, your house heating and you can't afford, or you are unemployed, the social services or the government makes sure that you are helped. There are measures that are in place that allows, that makes people more safe, at least that which I know. And the police is readily available. What I haven't seen is the soldiers. But yes, I haven't seen any, but people here are generally safe. You feel safe when you're walking. If you are a woman, you feel very safe. The laws and the rules are on your side always. You know what I mean? And it's not as the case back home. At least I'm saying from what I know. I might not know some of the things, and that might not be the case, but so far that's my opinion. So let me talk about the places that I have visited before I talk about the challenges and conclude. So since I arrived in the UK, I have visited only few places. I can name them. The first place I visited, or the first town or region I visited, is a town called Colchester. Yes, I visited Colchester. I went with my friend who was helping me to walk around in London. And the other place that I visited is called Milton Keynes. I visited Milton Keynes. I think I've been there for for maybe 3-4 times. I was there this past weekend there, Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes is just about 15 miles from here where I'm staying here. Currently I'm staying in Aylesbury. Yes, Aylesbury. I hope I pronounced that right. Yes, so another place I visited is a small town called High Wycombe. Yeah, High Wycombe on our way to London. There's a small town there about 10 miles as well. It's about £2 by bus from here to go to High Wycombe. I've been to High Wycombe, and it's a relatively bigger town in this county called Buckinghamshire. And another place I visited is, of course, London. I've been to London, I think, countable number of times. It's about I've been to London for about 1, 2, 3, I think 4 times. Yes, not much. And in London, I've been to the Tower Bridge. It's one of the most commonly or popular places in London, or most touristic resort place where most people visit. I've been there, and if you check on my videos down below, you will see some of the amateur videos of mine when I was visiting London with my friend who was helping me, whose name I will not mention at this moment. I have been to the London Bridge. So I used to confuse Tower Bridge and London Bridge. Actually, those are two different bridges. So I've been to London Bridge, and I've been to Wembley Stadium, the home of legends, the home of England. It's a very huge stadium which is in London. It's a stadium where most finals are held, your UEFA finals, or the Premier PSL League finals, so or the national games, like your England games, men and women, England men and women soccer, and some big musical events. So there are videos that I'm still uploading there about my visits to Wembley. Kindly go and check them out, and share, like, and comment, and enjoy. Also, you can learn also on what you can do in London by just watching some of my videos. You can also plan, if it's your first time to be in UK or London, you can also use my videos and have an idea on what to do, where, and how much maybe it might cost you. So still talking about the places I have visited. Yeah, of course, I'm here in Aylesbury. That's where I came originally. Initially, and I've been staying in Aylesbury and for the whole 1 year. I have been to Heathrow. Who hasn't been to Heathrow? I've been to Heathrow also. You know, Heathrow is a airport. It's an international airport in London. So I've been to Heathrow several times. On my arrival, on my departure, again I went back home sometime, and then I went to Kenya. I've passed through Heathrow several times that I've been getting lost at Heathrow, trying to get into bus, or trying to find trains to London. Yes, I've been getting lost. And let me also talk about the challenges that I've been facing, or that I've faced so far, ever since I arrived in UK on the 9th of January 2023. The first challenge, I call it this challenge with the language, English. Challenge with speaking English. So before I came, I thought I know how to speak English, but when I came here, that's when I realized that my English was below par, to say the least. Not below par, but coming from a background where most of the time you will be speaking Zulu, or you are speaking Shona, or you are speaking in Damara, or you are speaking Ojiwambo, or you are speaking Herero if you're in Namibia. And most you're interacting with people who are speaking mostly their vernacular language. Especially for the 8 years I've been in South Africa, most of the time we were just speaking Zulu, until I even can speak Zulu and communicate in the Zulu. Yes, kuluma cases is Zulu, of course, but I had a big challenge with English, and I know it's not only me. There's many people who have been complaining about challenges also with understanding English, or understanding the local peoples speaking this language, because they speak it fluent. I will actually need to go and visit my CV and change where I said I can read, write, and speak fluently, and change it small. I have to go and say I speak small, because I don't think I speak properly. I speak small. Yeah, but well, it's a challenge because here most of the communication is just English. You know what I mean? So if you can't speak properly, you might end up swearing at people where you think you are trying to express a point, and that has been a very big challenge for me as well. Just speaking English, it made most of the things a bit more difficult and complicated. Of course, writing, you can write something, but speaking, I think it's a very big experience. But ever since also I started to be serious with my YouTube, and ever since I started to be speaking in front of this camera, I have become better, I think, if I can say the least. Not there, but yeah, at least I understand, and at least I can respond without offending the person I will be speaking to, or someone else. So that has been challenge number one. The next challenge is to actually travel in the tube, or generally just getting a bus at a cost effective, and getting a bus in time, or mainly, let me say, the biggest challenge is to get in the tube train. That one has been a challenge. If you go on Google Maps, if you are in London or some developed countries, there's this other extra map that you will see that I started seeing only here when I go there, and I will show you a picture here of the tube map. So just moving around in the tube train has been a challenge, and it is still a challenge, but at least thanks to my friend who introduced me to the tube trains. He took me into London, and we traveled in London, and he showed me how to move around in London. If you're watching me, Martin, hey, shout out to you, my brother, and thanks very much for helping me. And I know you don't want to be praised for doing good things, but I think let's give credit where it is due. When it is due, you really helped me. I don't think I was going to even know how to start moving around in London, because shame. In London is not vegetables. London is not vegetables. It's a very big milestone coming from Johannesburg or Pretoria, where there's only overground trains here. Of course, I've been in the Gautrain, but I think the tube train in London is something else, really. So that has been a challenge again for me. So the next thing that was a challenge to me was to understand the value of the British pound. It's very easy to overspend, because we are used to 1,000 rand. When now you're buying something for £20, and if you convert it, it's how much? £20 is about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 600 rand or so. So if you literally convert and you are not careful with the conversion and the buying, you end up overspending or thinking that goods are cheaper. Yeah, if you don't understand, you may not know, because it seems like, from my own observation, that it seems like people here just price whatever they want. You know what I mean? Can you believe a taxi to London? It's let me not say London, to Heathrow. You can literally pay £90 to Heathrow, which is about 2,000 something. Heathrow is about 60 kilometers. You pay £2,000. Not 60 kilometers, about 40 miles, which is about 50. I thought that is ridiculously expensive, but it is what it is. You can get a taxi to Heathrow from £55 to £90 from where I am here, and it can be more, and people can simply afford, and then just pay like they're paying with a 10 rand or 5 rand. So that has been a challenge to understand the pound and the value of the pound. The last biggest achievement, and before I conclude, is the challenge of rent. Guys, rent is very expensive in UK. I see this room here that I'm using now as my studio. Let me just rotate my camera. This room here, that is a furnished room with some furniture there, with a TV and a table and chairs, which I don't usually use, and just that there's nowhere to put them. Can cost you £700, this small little room. So rent here is very expensive, and it's one of the expenses that will take the whole chunk of your money, of your salary. If you are not careful, you can literally pay the whole of your salary towards rentals. So you really need to be smart and know how to maneuver around the challenge of rentals. So yeah, that's the last thing that I found to be challenging. There's many other challenges that we will talk about in future, but overall, this has been my experience being in the United Kingdom, and overall, my overall view in probably a short paragraph. I think UK is a good country with great opportunities. If you've got kids, you don't pay fees, but it's not an easy thing to also be meeting whatever you need to meet for the kids, especially when you are coming from Africa, where we can easily get someone who can look after your kids for a small amount of money. In this country, it's not the case. If you are looking after your kids, you have to do a proper job, otherwise you will have challenges with the social services department, or with the, I don't know which department exactly it is, but you will be in trouble if you don't look after your kids properly. Generally, it's a good country with great opportunities, like I just said. And if you want to come to the UK, try your luck and come if you have what it takes. There's lots of jobs. If you go on the internet, just Google UK jobs, you will see lots of jobs and you will see the requirements. So the biggest requirement is for you to get a job, and then you get a job from someone who is able to sponsor you to come to UK. So that has been my experience in the UK. I shall speak like Jacob Zuma. That has been my experience in the UK, and I am learning, and I'm still learning more. There's lots that I am going to be taking from the UK, and if I am to go back home before I turn 100 years, that there's more lessons that I will take home and try to educate our people as well, and try to implement some of the things that I am learning, and we are learning with many other people from other nations as well. Yes, so I thought I had to do this video just to reflect on my first anniversary in the United Kingdom. Of course, I went to Kenya, and that's why I see me wearing this Kenyan jersey all the time, because when I went to Kenya, my life changed. So when I came to UK, my life changed as well. I'm no longer the same Silas that I used to be, and I really want to thank everyone who is around me, and I want to thank you for watching my videos up to this far, and thank you again also for subscribing to my YouTube, and giving this video a like, and thank you again for coming back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, if you're a new subscriber, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I promise you I will not disappoint. Sooner or later, this is still a channel in progress, a work in progress, trying to establish this YouTube channel. So I'm hoping that it's going to be one of the biggest growing YouTube channels, and we are going to engage, and my life is going to be your TV, because I really promise that I will be bringing my life experiences to you, and so that you can learn from my positives, and you can also learn from my negatives. If I don't make it through YouTube, the other intention is to write books, or do both, write books about myself. So till we meet again tomorrow, I want to say goodbye, good night, good morning, good evening. My name is Silas at 100 years. See you again on my other video tomorrow. Silas.